Duncan Duo Real Estate Show, Christmas edition. Next couple of weeks, obviously, we're during the holidays and we're talking all things real estate. And this time of year, it gets a little interesting in the real estate world. Andrew Duncan with the Duncan Duo team at LPT Realty. And when we aren't on air, make sure you're following us on all of our socials at the Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. Pretty much every single social media channel out there at the Duncan Duo. Follow us for all your updates on Tampa Bay real estate. I want to talk today. This is a time of year when a lot of people are, first off, you're home with your families and you're not local to Tampa Bay and you're traveling from somewhere else. And, this is usually a time of year when people are kind of disconnecting, kind of reflecting on the year past, as well as, planning for the year ahead. I always like to spend some time talking to clients, customers, as well as our listeners this time of year about your planning for 2026. So who I'm talking to right now are basically people that are going to buy or sell real estate or potentially thinking about improving their credit, getting other debt, applying for credit in some other way. You need to improve your credit score. So first and foremost, there are a lot of home buyers out there, and we run into this all the time. Our partnership with Citywide Home Mortgage, they'll run people's credit and they'll find out, man, great income, but there's some credit problems that people didn't know about. The downside of AI and a world that lives in the cloud is that mistakes can happen. Scams and fraudulent people using your social security number, or even as I experienced last week on my Merrill Lynch brokerage account, somehow someone placed a trade for a treasury bond, a purchase of treasury bonds within my account. And obviously it got all reversed and they did the right thing and took care of it. But there are things like that happen all the time with people's credit where there's accounts open or charges, or sometimes it's a mistake. Sometimes it's actually a family member. Sometimes it's a scam. Sometimes it's simply someone that has a similar name and it got reported to the wrong credit profile. I want to talk about this idea of, understanding your credit, improving your credit. And, that starts with the common sense baseline, which is looking at your credit report. So all of the major credit bureaus, I think there's freecreditreport.com, there's some websites, pretty much all of them will offer you at least one free credit report. And most consumers out there in one shape or form have had some identity stolen or some lawsuit that's involved them where you very likely have free credit monitoring. A lot of people, you'll get the email or the postcard and it'll say, hey, we're going to give you free credit monitoring because your information was stolen in a data breach. You should always take advantage of those things and put locks or alerts on your credit profile to prevent things from happening. But if you haven't done that yet and you find out there's a problem, first and foremost, get your credit report. Look at it, question it, reach out to the reporting agency, whether it's Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, if there's something wrong on it. Something like a medical bill that's not yours, a collection that's not yours, an account that's reporting an incorrect balance or an incorrect credit limit. All of these things really do matter. So when there is something incorrect on your credit report, it can be something that causes your rate either to be higher or your ability to qualify for credit to be declined. So if you notice disputes or disagreements, you can dispute those things. So your rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act allow you to dispute those things. A couple different ways you can do this. You can either do it directly through the credit bureau, you can mail, you can call. But the purpose of this is to prevent identity theft, but also for you to be able to clean up your credit before you go and make your major purchase. Again, way too many consumers put the cart before the horse. It costs consumers, in my estimate, billions of dollars a year because they don't do what they need to do up front on their credit. They end up either not getting credit or getting credit at a higher rate because they didn't do the work ahead of time. It's kind of like, imagine going into surgery. A surgeon is going to operate on your heart. They didn't do any imaging. That's what you're doing when you go out to buy a house or when you go to a dealership to buy a car, or you float into rooms to go during the holiday season and you want to, get some credit for new furniture. If you didn't actually look at your report to determine how they're judging you, to determine what kind of offer they'll give you, you're flying blind. So first and foremost, get your credit report, and then look at it from a standpoint of correcting errors. Now, the second thing you can do, depending on how imminent your need for credit is, there are things that you can do to improve your credit score. Some of those things will depend on your actual score, but I'm going to go through some of those today. First, obvious, no-brainer, disputing things that are incorrect on your credit report. The second thing you can do is improving your utilization ratio. So for example, if you have 3 cards and you're near maxed out on all of them, you can either opt to look at getting, and again, depending on how close you are to your credit need. If you're months and months away, or if you're really close, the things you might do could be completely different. One of the things you could do would be to get new lines of credit so that you have more available open credit and you're not utilizing all of the credit you have. Another thing you can do is you can seek to get your credit limits increased by the people you're getting credit from. So for example, if you got a couple of cards and they're at $10,000 or $20,000 each, you can look to see if they'll bump up your credit limit. Then you look more attractive to someone seeking to give you credit because now you're not utilizing the full portion of your credit. Other things you can do, you can negotiate interest rates or move your debts over to lower interest rate payments by either balance transfers, consolidation loans. Those are things that can work. You can refinance things like cars. Sometimes it's as simple as paying a card off. You may have cash in the bank and the lender may advise you, hey, look, you need to take that cash and pay this off so your debt to income improves. So all of these things matter. Certainly there are ways that AI can help you with this. If you're someone that uses a large language model, if you use Grok, which is my preferred, or ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, you can take your credit profile, you can upload it, you can ask it for help in determining what you can do to improve your credit score. If you don't have credit or you don't have enough credit, you may need to establish some credit. Now, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and a lot of the mortgage lenders are moving towards a model where there isn't a minimum credit score anymore. And that doesn't mean that your credit doesn't matter. It just simply means that there can be consideration for giving someone a loan if all things check out right and maybe you're a few points below what the minimum would be. So nonetheless, your credit still does matter. You want to improve your score. You want to improve how you look to creditors. So paying off debts, disputing things that are incorrect. Sometimes you can dispute things that are old. Maybe they're past the timeline that they're supposed to stay on your credit. You can also ask for consideration. You can even renegotiate things. You can renegotiate your rate. You can renegotiate your fee structure. All of these things matter. So these are tips and things that I would recommend. Always want to stay on top of preventing identity theft and staying on top of your credit score. I prefer to have a freeze on mine, and then when I'm going to apply for credit, I can log into apps and do the unfreeze. That ensures that it's less likely for someone to be able to steal my credit, scams to happen. Nonetheless, you need to be paying attention to your credit. It matters for you to get debt. It matters for you to get debt at a certain price, and it certainly has an impact on your ability to qualify for home. Another thing that can improve your credit, let's say, for example, your credit isn't great, your partner's is, whether that's your spouse, whether that's your significant other, you're not married, it could even be your children or your parents. Becoming an authorized user on the credit of someone with a great credit profile will also pull your score up. So one tip that I like to give parents is, hey, look, I know not everyone wants to buy their kid a house. You may not have the means to give your kid money to buy a house, but you can early on add them. If your credit profile is good, you can add them as an authorized user. And parents, if your credit is maybe not great, your kid can add you as an authorized user. Now, this adding as an authorized user doesn't mean you necessarily have to give the person the card. For example, my daughter is an authorized user on a few of my credit cards. Now, she doesn't know this and she doesn't have the cards, but it will help pull her score up and give her more open lines and make her debt to income look better, especially because there are cards that are paid in full every single month. So you have to be cautious about doing this. You certainly don't want to do it without someone's consent, but the key is that someone else's credit profile, help improve your credit profile as well. And of course, paying off debts, renegotiating debts, all of these are things that can help improve your score. I encourage you to track your score as well and track the progress of the things that you do. There are agencies like at our mortgage company, citywidetampa.com. We do have credit repair specialists that can help guide you through, and even for a fee or consideration in your mortgage, can help do this for you, but there's a lot of it that you really can do yourself with some research, with some help from AI, and following a couple of different websites or blogs online. The key, though, is to stay informed, stay on top of your credit, and be proactive, but start the process early. Let me repeat that. Start the process early. If you're going to buy a home in 6 months, start working on your credit now. Don't bury your head in the sand. Don't say, oh, I'll do it when it's closer. You may not have enough time if you wait until a month before you're ready to buy. Your spouse may find the dream home, the first house you go out and look at. And I can tell you, because I've seen the look in husbands and wives' faces when they've let down their partner, when they've gone out to look at houses and they knew they should have done something sooner and didn't, and now they can't buy or they lose out on the home of their dreams, all because they weren't prepared. Again, I use the analogy. If you're a heart surgeon, you're looking at scans and images of the heart that you're about to operate on. If you're about to buy a house, you need to be looking at your credit profile, because it is the heartbeat of helping you, buy a home in today's real estate market. It's also the heartbeat of all things financial. Car loans, furniture loans, credit cards, you name it. The more your credit improves, the more benefits and value you get, even from a standpoint of better credit cards, benefits on cards, certain points, certain sign-up bonuses, free this, free that. All these things open up based on your credit score. So those are tips that I have to help you during the holiday season get ready to take on credit or buy a home in 2026.